Hi, I'm James Hankins.
And I'm Ben Shepard, and welcome to POWWOW.
Oh wait, I forgot why we're here.
It's because we're preparing outstanding warriors with the wisdom to overcome and win.
That's right.
The birthdays for this week are Treasure Harvey, Amelie Valdez, Kevin Kaisa, and Dawson Taylor.
Along with Jesse Powell, Oscar Castro, and Sullivan Lowe.
Happy birthday. Our student athletes of the week this week are Shelby Sellers for hitting 2 RBIs and a double, TJ Willis for hitting 2 doubles, a triple, and pitching 3 strikeouts, and Kaylee for pitching for an entire softball game. Wow, congrats on that longevity.
In track and field, we would like to congratulate Alme Mathis, Elias Smaltz, and Seth Santos. And congratulations to tennis.
In other sports news, senior night for baseball is April 16th, so make sure to come out and support.
Congratulations for track and field for the whole season, along with regionals last Saturday.
And now for our student accolades. First of all, Ms. Pelagi would just like to welcome all of her students back after her long hiatus due to COVID. Congratulations to Renee Lynn Skidmore for being a peer tutor, and Seth Santos for diligently turning in his work.
Let's welcome Dr. Kinzer.
Well, hey there everybody. My name is Dr. Todd Kinzer, and I teach in the history department here at Newman. I teach a couple sections of Honors World History, and then mainly juniors in historical literature for the spring or winter and spring quarters. So it's really a privilege for me to get the chance to speak for just a few minutes today during POWWOW. And if I haven't had the chance to meet you, hopefully I'll get the chance to do that here shortly. Well, normally when I get the chance to teach on something, or especially talks like this one, I like to try to do something that I'm often not good at or that I can be growing in. And certainly the topic that we have for this week on compassion falls into that category. I am not always the most compassionate person, and so I've learned a lot and hopefully grew some from preparing to talk about it a little today, and I hope it'll be a challenge to you as well. I kind of feel like compassion is one of those topics that maybe you know the word, but don't really know what that means or what that looks like. And so that's really my goal for our time together today, is to try to flesh that out a little bit for us so that we can be more compassionate people. Well, I wanted to begin by just kind of giving you a quick overview of where we're going. I want to bring up 3 questions today, just briefly, and ask really foundationally, what is compassion? Maybe a good starting place for our topic, as we tend to do with POWWOW. I want to spend the majority of our time talking about what does compassion look like, and how then, thirdly, can we be a compassionate person when sometimes we struggle with doing that. So let's dig in today for number 1, our first little question here, just briefly, and that is, what is compassion? Now, if you were in my little whatever class or teaching setting for this, I'd probably ask you that and see what your thoughts are about compassion. But since you're not, I want to just kind of dive right into maybe a dictionary, kind of a formal definition. And if you were to look that up for yourself, it would say something like a feeling of deep sympathy or sorrow for another person who is stricken by misfortune, accompanied by a strong desire to alleviate that suffering. Okay, it's a deep sympathy or concern for someone who's stricken by misfortune or hardship in life, accompanied by a deep desire to do something for that person. That's a person of compassion. If you were to kind of look down in the definition even a little further, you might come across kind of synonyms. Maybe a person that's got a very tender heart, or a person of mercy towards other people. And then, of course, the contrasting characteristic is a person that just really doesn't care about other people. Right? They're kind of indifferent, or they just have kind of a no-care attitude, right? Well, that's our definition, if you could say it that way, about what compassion is. But let's shift gears for a little bit. In the majority of our time, I want to talk about what compassion looks like. And you might have been familiar with someone famous in our world who has a reputation for being compassionate. Maybe that's Mother Teresa. Maybe that's a person like Dalai Lama, right? He is a spiritual leader mainly in Asia, kind of India, Thailand, China sort of region of our world. And he said, love and compassion are necessities, not luxuries. Without them, humanity cannot survive. And I was so impressed by that little statement about compassion, right? They're the bedrock of our world. Without them, humanity cannot survive. Love and compassion kind of go hand in hand. So let's think about what this actually looks like, this person of compassion. And I want to think about this definition that we've been looking at just briefly here today. And there's a couple different aspects to it. If you kind of piece together a profile of a compassionate person, number one is that they are observant. They're observant. They see things going on in the world around them. And you'll notice that in this phrase in our definition, they see the one who is stricken by misfortune. Hardship has come into their life. Maybe anything from just having a bad day all the way down to the deep, difficult things of life, like a family member dying, right? People that are compassionate see, they're observant and aware of the hardships of people going on around them. Now, I couldn't help but think about my own family situation when it comes to being observant. You might notice here, I have two of my three sisters in this picture, and my brother-in-law and nephew Jesse. Some of you might recognize him. He just graduated from Newman last year. And then my mom and dad, right? You'll notice that my dad is in a scooter. He actually has MS, which are the initials for multiple sclerosis. And that's basically a disease that attacks the nerve endings in your body. And so he has a hard time walking long distances. He sleeps in a chair and he has a hard time being mobile. Often people with MS kind of lose their eyesight, or they lose their hearing, or all kinds of things in your body that are controlled by your nerves. Now, I mentioned that sometimes I struggle with being a compassionate person, as I should be. And usually when I go and see my parents, they just moved into a assisted living property in Mansfield. I got 100 things going on in my life. I'm busy doing different things, and I come and see my dad, and everything goes from about 100 miles an hour to about 10 miles an hour. Everything is very slow. And if I'm not careful, I can try to speed things up or not be as kind and gentle and compassionate with my dad as I need to be. But I've realized that the longer that I observe the hardships that my dad is going through, the more quickly I become a compassionate person. When I see him labor to walk or have a hard time just moving around, getting in and out of bed, my compassion for my dad grows significantly. A person who is observant of the needs around them. Well, notice the second little portion of our definition. Not only are they observant of the person stricken with misfortune, but they care about that person. They take that one step further. They're deeply moved by sympathy and sorrow for that person. They're able to see the hardship and connect with them on an emotional level, right? They care about that person. So it's one thing for me to be observant and to see that person walk in the classroom, maybe a friend of yours who seems really discouraged. It's another thing for me to care about that person, right? Now, I couldn't help but think of our whole year-long COVID situation. So many people that have been impacted in all different kinds of ways. And I've heard several different stories about nurses and doctors in hospitals that really have sacrificed even their own personal health in order to care for people that have contracted COVID. Nurses often are people who see the needs, but they also are deeply moved by those hardships of life that people are going through, and probably one of the main reasons why they became a nurse, right? Do I see the needs of people around me, and do I care about those needs? Well, there's a third and final aspect of this definition that we've been talking about. They see or they observe, they care about the needs that they witness, and then finally they're moved to action because of what they see. Each component of this definition is really important. If I fail to act, then I'm really not a truly, genuinely compassionate person. Now, I couldn't help but think of my own sister in this aspect of being a compassionate person. She is just wired to be a person of compassion. She immediately sees the needs that people have. She's moved on an emotional level by that, and she goes out of her way to meet those needs. And I've witnessed that so many times and been so impressed by that aspect of her life. In fact, when my grandma passed away several years ago on my mom's side, of course, my mom was devastated by that. And my sister just went way out of her way to meet the needs of my mom in those moments, even in little ways. I remember at the viewing that lasted for, I think, a couple hours, friends to kind of come through and talk about what my grandma meant to them. My sister grabbed me. She said, "Hey, let's go across the street." We went to a little convenience store and we got a pack of crackers or a candy bar and a drink and brought it back to my mom. She was so tuned in to the needs of my mom, even just on a physical energy level, that she was going out of her way to meet those needs, even with a candy bar or a pack of crackers and a drink, right? That sticks out in my mind as a person of compassion. Now, one other kind of piece of historical literature that I wanted to use today is about another religious spiritual leader, and that's the person of Jesus. Now, Jesus is, of course, a controversial figure, and maybe you have difference of opinion about who that is. The Bible, of course, talks a lot about Jesus, and in Matthew chapter 15, talks about Jesus' compassion on a group of people, a multitude, and his feeding of that people, feeding of the 5,000, a famous story in the Bible about Jesus. Notice all three of these different components that come out in this one little verse. It says, "Then Jesus called his disciples or his followers to him, and he said, 'I have compassion on these people, this crowd, because they've been with me for 3 days, and they have nothing to eat. And I'm unwilling to send them away hungry, lest they faint on the way.'" One short little statement about Jesus' compassion on this multitude. But notice how all three of these components of this definition are a part of that. Jesus said, let's see, in the green there, "They have been with me 3 days. They don't have food. I'm aware, I'm observant of their great need that they have physically." And then next in line here, he's concerned on a deep level about these people. Here in the yellow, lest they faint along the way, right? I'm concerned about the need that I see in them. And then finally in the orange, and this final step of action, I'm unwilling to send them away hungry. And all three of these statements of compassion are the reason that Jesus provides, in this story, a supernatural way to meet their needs. A great example of a person of compassion. Now, I want to close just real quickly today with a third and final thing that I'd like us to talk about, and that is, why am I not compassionate? Am I not seeing? Do I not care? Why am I not acting to meet the needs of this person? And I want to close with maybe just 3 suggestions for you to consider. And even maybe you teachers leading a little discussion about this after we're done. Why do we struggle with compassion? Right? Maybe you're too busy. Maybe you're just so busy with other things that you just don't observe the needs of other people when they become apparent. But maybe it's a deeper thing. And honestly, my kind of challenges with compassion fall into these 2 categories. Maybe that person's just too different from me. They're a different gender or a different racial, ethnic background, a different religious background, a different social background. And those things become barriers for me to show compassion to other people who are struggling in life. But maybe a third one is and this is kind of more my stick here, is sometimes I'm just too self-focused. I just want to kind of do what I need to do to take care of my world, right? And it is a challenge for me to break out of that and to meet the needs of other people in their world. What is it for you? Is it something that you can kind of think through for yourself and be growing in and kind of evaluate about your own life to become more and more of a person of compassion? Well, I hope that is worth thinking about this topic, that whether it's in your own family, our community here at Newman, or in our broader world of the DFW, Texas area, that we are people that are showing that we're observant, that we're concerned on a heart level with the needs that other people have, and that we're acting as best we can to meet those needs. Whether that's something small or something that I'm sacrificing of myself to do to care for them. And I think the more and more we're becoming like that, the more and more we create an atmosphere and an environment and a culture of compassion. So I hope you all have a great day, and I'll talk to you again soon around campus.
Wow, wasn't that a wonderful presentation?
Tolerable.
Thank you, Dr. Kinzer.
Hey everybody, Mrs. Peterson here, and I just wanted to make you aware of something really fun that's going to be happening on our campus next Thursday, the 22nd, and that is In-N-Out is coming to our campus. And the reason that I'm pretty excited about it is I'm from California, and when I taught in California, this In-N-Out trailer came to our school every year, a couple times, and it was super fun to have kind of a picnic kind of thing. I don't think we'll be eating outside, but it's really great that you just pay $5 and you get a whole meal from In-N-Out. So I just wanted to let you know, and hopefully you can pay ahead of time and get your meal from the In-N-Out trailer. You'll see signs all over the school about it. It's just $5. I'm really excited, and I hope you guys will join us for an awesome meal from In-N-Out. Woohoo!
Oh man, this sure seems to be not working. Whatever shall I do? I know, I'll call the help. Prop department, this is a mess. I need a prop phone. My goodness. Gosh, like why can't you guys get anything right? I mean, last week my costume wasn't even working like it was supposed to. And then this time, man, know what I should call? I should call a help desk.
When you call the help desk, you're looking for a solution, but your problem might just be the beginning. Whether you're getting shamed by your inability to log in, giving your credit card information to a scammer, or having a serious conversation with a clown, customer service calls spiral into craziness for the customers and employees alike in this hilarious comedian. Come see Gibbons' very own theater students perform Help Desk, April 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. Tickets can be purchased online, $5 for students and $10 for adults.
International Trip 2022 to Barcelona and Paris discount of $200 for new registrants who enroll by April 20th, 2021. And 100% refund extended until August 1st, 2021.
Miss Peterson is looking for people who would be interested in audio-visual production and broadcasting anchors for next year in our new television and radio studio. Please go to see her for information.
Luckily, April 30th will be our last bad weather makeup day due to the snowstorm, and it'll be a half day.
Friday is a B-day.
Good afternoon, this is Mrs. Peterson, and I wanted to show you how to order a yearbook. And I'm in Clever right now, but you could just go to the Newman Academy District website. So I'm going to jump over there from Clever. And when we get to the Newman website, you'll see right here, we're going to scroll down now, pre-order your yearbooks. So I'm going to scroll back over to where that was. Whoops, excuse me. Let's go back over to that. All right, third time's charm, right? Here we go. Pre-order your yearbook. First thing you have to do is you need to go down and look at all these choices for NIAA, Gibbons, and Pioneer. We're one yearbook together. So make sure that you're picking this number. I'm copying it. You could always go up here and copy it if you need to. And then when you click here to order your yearbook, you need to make sure that you have the right one. And if you have the wrong one, you will not see your grade. Okay? So here we are clicking into the order your yearbook. And now I'm just going to paste. I'm going to paste that in. I'm going to push next. And once you push next, if you go to this drop down and you don't see your grade, so if you're K through 5 and you're in the wrong yearbook for Gibbons and Pioneer. So you pick your grade and you put your name in. And push next. And then it'll tell you if you're going to get more than one, you put it here. And then you put in your information and you order online. That's as easy as it is. And I'm going to tell you, as soon as you order online, then it shows up from my side as the yearbook director in my LifeTouch file. So I have ordered, let's see, about 130 yearbooks this year, which is less than I have in the past, but that is for 2 campuses. So I would suggest that you order as soon as possible. Thank you and have a great day, and order your yearbook today.
And now for our school song.
God bless our school as we march to light tomorrow. and stand tall today with love, faith, and hope. We rise to build our nation with wisdom, stature, and faith, yeah. May God bless our school today and forever.
Funniest thing I've done all year. Am I done walking?
Oh, I didn't know you were gonna fall like that. You're nowhere on camera. Let me just.